The two easiest ones to do are ultrasonic and dye penetrant. I've made a separate video on YouTube for dye penetrant. I'll put a link in the comments below. A dye penetrant test is 4 steps. You clean the metal, you apply a dye, which is a really liquid, runny, low viscosity dye that soaks through capillary action straight into every crack. You then remove the surface dye, apply dye to everything, everywhere. Remove the surface dye. And number 4 is you apply developer. The video will show you, but basically, if there's a crack coming out the surface, step 1, clean it, get rid of all the oil and grease. Step 2, when you put the dye goes into the surface. It's all over the top, but it also soaks through capillary action down into the crack. Then you come along with your cleaner, remove all the surface dye. It's still trapped in the crack. Last thing that happens is the dye comes out of the surface. The developer is powdered chalk. Which just sucks up all the liquid. So when I put the developer over, the dye comes out of the crack and gets sucked into the liquid chalk. And it shows up as a big bright red blob if it's red dye, or it might be a fluorescent dye when you can see it under ultraviolet light. Dye penetrant tests are used extensively in aircraft because fatigue cracks are surface cracks. Because a fatigue crack comes from the surface of the metal, you can use dye penetrant. It's cheap, it's easy. You can't really stick an aircraft in an X-ray machine. I haven't seen an X-ray machine as big as a jumbo jet. You can do bits and pieces, but if you've got to check the whole airframe for cracks, they do this. Inside the engine, they physically check every blade for cracks using dye penetrant. Reason being, quick, easy, more or less reliable, if it's a surface crack. If it's something inside, of course, if there's no surface crack, forget about it.